Hello, everyone. In this set of videos, we're going to go over chapter 4, which is about consciousness. And I'm going to hit just on a few topics. I'll talk a little bit about sleep, sleeping disorders, dreams, and I'll talk then for a little while on drugs. But I am going to start here on sleeping. First of all, sleeping is just a natural state. Just about everything sleeps. Everything that's an animal goes into a mode where their brain is less active, or the nervous system is less active. In humans, we sleep about a third of our lives, because of course we usually sleep about 8 to 10 hours every day. Some people sleep less, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But most people sleep about 8 to 10 hours. Now, your body keeps track of sleeping through a system of hormones and temperature changes that we call biological rhythms. You have other types of biological rhythms, which is anything that fluctuates in your body, hormones, temperature, things like that, where they rise and they fall. There is either an accelerated or decelerated cycles in brain activity. These are all biological rhythms. Now, some biological rhythms are annual. If you're a bear, then you have an annual biological rhythm that allows you to get ready for hibernation. Some are sort of biannual or seasonal. Arctic foxes and Arctic hares will go through a biological rhythm that changes their hair from perfectly white to, spotted or brown or something like that during the spring seasons. In humans, or the type of biological rhythm that we're going to talk about is the sleeping one. And so this is circadian rhythms. We call them circadian, meaning close to every day or close to every 24 hours, right? Circa means close to or about, or around, and diem means day. So circadian rhythms. Um, uh, this is going to include a shifting of certain types of hormones, norepinephrine, melatonin, and then other parts of uh, uh, the body's changes. So the blood pressure, blood temperature, things like that. As I mentioned, there are non-circadian rhythms. Another one is menstruation, which happens monthly if you're a lady. Your monthly cycle is regulated through a biological rhythm, but that doesn't happen every day. That happens monthly. Now, when you're awake, if you look at the little graphic there on the right, when you're awake, your norepinephrine levels should be up. Because remember, norepinephrine turns on your sympathetic nervous system. And so that's you being awake, being alert, being ready to do the day's work. Your melatonin, on the other hand, should be down. Because what your melatonin does is it makes your brain feel sleepy. If you have a lot of melatonin in your system right now, you're getting tired, your eyelids are getting heavy, and you feel very, very tired. But of course, those aren't the only things that are affected. Body temperature when you're awake is up, blood pressure is high, and your blood sugar tends to be high. And of course, that makes perfect sense because you need blood sugar to be active during the day, to fuel your muscles, etc. So that should be high. When you're asleep, it should be the exact opposite. Your norepinephrine should be down. You don't want to feel active when you're sleeping. You want your body to be perfectly tired, basically ready to not move at all. Um, your melatonin, on the other hand, should be up. your body temperature should be down, blood pressure down, and blood sugar down. If these are correctly aligned, then you're going to fall asleep just right. But if one of those is off even a little bit, you might have a little bit of a restless sleep or not be able to fall asleep just right. Now, uh, specifically, melatonin is controlled by your brain, and it is a specific part of your brain that is called the pineal gland. Your pineal gland secretes melatonin, and that's what helps you to feel sleepy and then actually fall asleep. But your pineal gland determines when to release melatonin depending on how much light there happens to be in the environment outside of your body. If you look at the pineal gland, however, it's nowhere near anywhere in the body that can see the light. It's actually stuck right in the middle of your brain. And so it depends on the information being sent by the eyes. And so your eyes send information through the optical nerves into the suprachiasmatic nucleus where they meet, and then sending that information back to your pineal gland, and then eventually making its way to the occipital lobe so that you can see. But while there is daylight outside, when the sun is out, um, your pineal gland is not going to make melatonin, and so therefore you will feel awake. Why? Because what the pineal gland is specifically looking for is blue light. Now, when there's white light, the sun is out, right? Just clear, bright white light. Um, that includes blue light. White is created when there is enough of blue, green, and red light in the environment. So if you see white light, then that means there's blue light in there. Um, and so long as there's enough blue light in the environment, then your pineal gland does not make any melatonin and you feel awake. Now, if your uh, as soon as it starts to get dusk or dawn, or you just happen to be inside in just the right conditions, and there's not a lot of white light or there's not enough blue light specifically, then uh, your pineal gland starts to secrete melatonin. So if it's dusky, if it just looks kind of reddish, or if it's dark, your pineal gland will secrete melatonin, and you will start to feel sleepy. Now, if you happen to be blind, then you're always going to have issues with your circadian rhythms. Now, specifically, if the reason you are blind is because your eyes are not working or your optic nerve is not working, and so the light information isn't getting to the brain. If your blindness has to do with damage to your occipital lobe, then you may not deal with that kind of with those kind of problems with your circadian rhythms, because your eyes can see the light. It's just that your occipital lobe can't make a picture out of it. But if you are blind because of your eyes, then you're going to have issues with sleeping and insomnia, usually for your entire life. There are drugs that people can take that will keep their melatonin levels in check, and those work for a lot of people. But otherwise, being blind does affect your sleeping patterns quite drastically. Another thing that affects your sleeping patterns is jet lag. So jet lag occurs when you are used to, for example, being in Florida, and in Florida, it's you're used to, it being daylight at let's say 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. is still a little bit of daylight out. And so you're used to being awake around that time. And so your norepinephrine is up, your body temperature, your blood pressure, your blood sugar is up, and your melatonin is down because you're awake. But then you go on a trip, and all of a sudden, your norepinephrine is up, your body temperature is up, your blood pressure is up, your blood sugar is up. But instead of your melatonin being down, your melatonin starts to go up because in the new place that you're at, right, in your vacation spot, it's already nighttime, and so your body is used to being awake during that time. But in the environment, there's no daylight, and so what's going to happen is that you're going to start to feel sleepy. But when you get to bed, your body won't let you sleep. It feels like your body is really antsy, and you can't find the right position, and you toss and you turn, and your mind is sleepy, but your body won't let you sleep. Or sometimes the opposite happens. Your norepinephrine is low, body temperature, blood pressure, blood sugar is all low, they're all down. But instead of your melatonin being up so that you can fall asleep, your melatonin is also down. Your melatonin has also gone down. Why? Because there's too much bright light in the environment. And so what's happening here, the opposite. Your body feels super tired, but your brain won't let you fall asleep. And so you kind of think like, oh my God, just please let me fall asleep. But your brain just keeps on thinking and thinking, even though your body feels super tired. We do this also not just by traveling, but sometimes because we have our phones out or our computers out. Um, and the bright light from the computer prevents your uh, pineal gland from releasing melatonin. And so you're watching a show and you think to yourself, oh, I'm so tired. Your body feels tired. Your body feels completely ready to go to sleep, but your mind is super awake. And so you say, I'll watch one more episode. And then you finish that one more episode and go, I'll watch just one more. Because it doesn't matter how long you're there, your pineal gland is still not releasing melatonin. And so you don't feel sleepy, even though your body might be exhausted.